When you think of things that rich people buy, you probably think of fancy cars and private jets. And while the rich do purchase these luxurious items from time to time, for the most part they are spending their money on things that will grow their wealth further. In fact, the best way to see your net worth grow exponentially is by buying assets that earn you more money over time. And in this video, I will share with you the 7 assets rich people own that poor people don't. And if you're new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button below for more life-changing content. Before we get into the assets that rich people own that poor people don't, I think it's worthwhile to refresh our memory of what exactly an asset is. In economic terms, an asset is a resource with economic value that will provide a future benefit. Effectively, assets are things you buy that produce income. For example, an asset could be a piece of real estate or an apartment building. It could also be a company, stocks, or any kinds of investment that would put money into your pocket. Rich people buy such things regularly. That's why they stay rich. The poor and the middle class, on the other hand, buy liabilities. It was many years ago that I first read the classic book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, where he masterfully explains the importance of buying assets and how so many people in the middle and lower class spend the majority of their money on liabilities. For instance, they buy cars, boats, and even the items they think are assets like their home are in fact a liability. What they fail to realize is that assets are supposed to make you money while you sleep. Liabilities, on the other hand, simply drain you of your money. This is where the rich differ from the poor. Rich people buy assets first. Then, with the money that comes from them, they finance their luxuries. So when you see rich people having all the fancy luxuries, they buy that from the money that the asset produced for them. In fact, recently Kiyosaki made this exact point when he tweeted, "Live it up. Buy everything you want. One caveat, buy the assets to pay for them first." You see, rich people think very differently when it comes to money. Instead of saying, "This is too expensive, I can't afford it," rich people ask themselves, "How can I afford it?" That's fundamentally different from how most people think. In everyday life, others often complain about things being too expensive. But to simply say it's too expensive is a poor person's mentality. Most rich people dig even deeper. They ask themselves, what can I do to make the money I need? One of the simplest answers is that they invest their money more strategically and receive large returns as a result. Unfortunately, many people want to skip right to living the rich lifestyle without taking the steps necessary to get there. So they buy liabilities before buying assets. However, if you want to be rich and not just look it, then you need to do the reverse. So this begs the question, what kinds of assets do the rich invest in? The first asset that the rich invest in are businesses. When people think of investing in businesses, they usually think of angel investors and private startups. But the reality is that investing in businesses doesn't need to be that intricate. Maybe you have a friend who runs a small business in your city, who needs some extra financing. Or maybe you want to help a new startup in your field of expertise. Investing your money into businesses doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, the easiest way to do this is to invest into your own business. Use your income from your job or profits from your company to further finance your business. Ultimately, you want the business you invest in to either earn you a return through interest charged on a loan you provide, as equity, or as profits when you invest in your own organization. The second asset that rich people invest in are collectibles. This can range from art to antique vehicles and even comic books. The sole criteria for this type of investment is that it has the potential to appreciate over time given that these items don't produce income. When investing in these types of assets, it's important to be well versed in the market for collectible items. You may think that certain items will appreciate over time, when in reality their appeal has died off, which can at best have your money tied up in this asset and at worst have you losing your investment. The third asset is real estate. This, along with the asset I will mention next, is the most popular asset class among the rich. There are many different types of real estate such as residential and commercial properties. There are also a ton of different strategies to make money with this asset class. For instance, you could buy a commercial property and rent it out to a business, or buy a home in an up-and-coming neighborhood and wait for it to appreciate. The rich love this asset type for the flexibility it offers in income generation, but they also love it because it's easy to finance. And why is that? Because the banks love it. It's tangible and secure. If you default on your payments, the bank can simply ask for the keys and sell the property to recuperate their money. The fourth asset the rich own are paper assets like bonds and stocks. Generally, these are long-term investments, however, both can make you money in the short term as well. For instance, if you can identify undervalued stocks, you can stand to earn a quick profit once the market catches on. However, for the most part, the rich buy stocks and bonds for the longer term. The fifth asset the rich love to hold are precious metals. Precious metals are favored by the rich for a few reasons. Generally speaking, gold and other precious metals can act as a kind of safeguard against economic downturns. This is because precious metals tend to have an inverse relationship with the stock market. Simply put, when the price of stocks and bonds goes down, gold and other precious metals tend to go up, and when stocks are on the rise, precious metals decline in value. Due to this inverse relationship, this allows the rich to maintain some stability in their portfolio even during the harshest of economic times. Moreover, many of the world's richest people own the physical metal itself, and not just the stock or ETF, meaning that they have the benefit of possessing a tangible item. The sixth asset, one that is new to many rich individuals, is attention. While many people who earned their fortunes decades ago didn't have to demand the attention in the way they do now, for example through social media and the internet in general, there is no doubting the fact that attention is required to make money. Take the example of IBM. They needed the attention of the public to sell millions of computers, and while this attention wasn't derived through social media, it was generated in other ways which allowed them to become a major player in their field. So far, I have shared with you 6 assets, with each one of them having the ability to make you immensely rich. However, there is one asset that the rich acquire and use that the poor simply don't, and that asset is other people's time. If you are an employee, you are selling your time. You get paid based on the number of hours you work. So you exchange your time for money. Most people think in weekly or monthly payments. Rich people, however, don't think like that. The rich buy time because time is the only thing you can't generate more of. That is, unless you buy more of it. The rich are aware that time is our most valuable commodity, and that's also why rich people hate it if someone is wasting their time. It's worse than stealing money from them. And not only is their time valuable, it's more valuable than the time of others. For instance, if you are a master salesperson who can generate $5,000 of sales in a day, then your time is more economically valuable than someone making only $100 a day. Because of this, the rich buy time from people whose time is less valuable than theirs, so they can maximize their output of the 24 hours we all have in the day. In fact, the concept of leveraging other people's time is one that I learned not that long ago and has had a tremendous impact on my financial success. You see, one day I was cleaning my house, which is one of my least favorite activities by the way, when I got a call from my friend. Him and I got talking, and I told him that I was cleaning the house and preparing for the upcoming week. He then asked me bluntly, "Why are you cleaning the house?" To which I answered, so it's clean? Then he clarified by asking me why I personally was cleaning the house. He then went on to explain that rather than clean the house himself, every 2 weeks he pays a cleaning company to come tidy up his house, which saves him tons of time. He then went on to explain that in the 4 hours it would take him to clean the house, he could pay $100 and have his house cleaned for him while he used that time to work on his business. Then I did the math in my head that if I was able to earn $50 an hour freelancing, that I could make $200 in that time and still be $100 ahead if I paid for these same cleaning services. This conversation was a life-altering moment because I started to view all aspects of my life in this way, and it has allowed me to exponentially increase my income while also avoiding all the chores I dislike doing in the first place. Unfortunately, whenever I share the story with my friends, they make the argument that they don't have any means of making more money outside of their 9-to-5 job, and so this is all dead time anyways. And sure, this may be the case now, but it doesn't have to be. It's for this exact reason that I created the Side Hustle Success course, where I show you how to build a freelance side hustle from scratch that you can use to earn at least $1,000 a month. And succeeding with this course requires no prior experience, as I walk you through step by step exactly how to scale up to $1,000 or more a month and unlock the newfound financial success that comes with making more money. If this sounds like it's for you, check out the link in the description for more information on how you can join the Side Hustle Success course today. In short, if you want to be rich, you have to use your money wisely. Buying depreciable assets or funneling your money into wasteful expenses is the easiest way to guarantee a life of financial despair. Instead, ensure you put as much money as you can into the assets I previously mentioned. And if you do, then you will soon be one of the rich enjoying all the rewards of their investments. Thanks for watching. If you want to go from the life you have to the life you deserve, then hit the subscribe button now.